halt for now for the recess, and different departments and they find a way for wrap up and prepare for the holidays and get back to it immediately in January. Yes, and for Unimac and others, them we don't start their holiday because for them people and I mean it is tough and everything, but it kind of considerable in that sense. The small. I don't know if not because of the private aspect or not, but anyway, we'll get to know more. This particular week, we will talk about the increase in fees and also the lecturers them proposed strike. But I'm not gonna say much. We'll go for a very short break. Immediately after the break, I'll introduce you to my guest, and we will get the ball rolling.
Chris, breezy. A real bad girl, they are so. Just chose the beat. We don't can the place there for one, they drink, then they pass from corner to corner. 5 seconds, they thinking, don't boss and relax, they watch Bobby Man and a baller. Na babu the host, na babu the win, na babu no more for the taker. Na babu the host, na babu the win, na babu no more for the taker. Monkey no they can't usay babu then they. If monkey they can't usay babu they chill. Na babu for us like barbecue. Na for battle like cricket, no fear. If you get paid, na for spinner. If a kid then they are for cheddar. If they be them find the sweet like a apple. If in na babu man and kuva. If you get paid, na for spinner. If a kid then they are for cheddar. If they be them find the sweet like a apple. If in na babu man and kuva.
Check, ask around, I me the run, yeah. Original. For me head to me toe, check me out, boy. Original. I know they look for safe, kaya so fuck well. Now me only shop side, now me other cabs in the collie. The other boy they not in corner sale. I'm in love with your booty.
If a kid and they are for cheddar. If they be them find the sweet like a apple. If in a babu man and kuva. If you have been a prospera. If a kid and they are for cheddar. If they be them find the sweet like a apple. Babu man and kuva. Quiet. Let me press at the pen, not quiet. Any money in the hand where they look up to me, know they see the next day, not quiet. And get pepper when lots in the geek, I want my baby to just a feel like the bonga. See the baby one dead like the ball we they play, I want that guy HD like the songa. And I'm money, me no money, me making me me and I me, and now you get the fuck deal. If you put two all the ones I succeed, now for tell me, if I get the time, if you get paid, now for spinner. If a kid and they are for cheddar. If they be them find the sweet like a apple, if in a babu man and kuva. If you get paid, now for spinner. They are for cheddar. If they be them find the sweet like a apple. If in a babu man and kuva.
Yes, of course, we're back. You're still listening to Epic Nation right here on Epic Radio 97.3 FM. You can watch me live on Facebook at Epic Radio. Inside the studio with me, I get some wonderful guests, them, a representative from NOS, we're in the National Students Union body. We're in charge of all the students' union them in Sierra Leone. And also the informations person for a big college students union as well. A student from FBC and then they're about to introduce yourself. How you doing, brother?
Omar Jallo, social work, final year.
Okay, welcome to the show. And you, how are you, sir?
Alright, I'm Bangura Abu Ibrahim Augustine, serving as the minister in the Student Union government for Abbey College.
Okay, thank you very much. And of course, the gentleman.
Andrew Chopele, the Public Relations Officer, National Union of Silent Student, NUS.
Need to get more of those titles.
Welcome to the show, guys.
It's not, be careful of what you ask for. It's not an easy task.
I want my introductions to be longer. It's just like Omar Jallo. I need more.
I see.
The titles do not just come alone. They come with some burdens that you have to bear.
With heavy demands.
But you get to understand. You get to understand. So tonight we're talking about the increase in fees, and as well as the proposed strike from lecturers, even though college don't lock, so we know they see how down they come along. There was a dialogue that started a while ago about the fees increase. It started as just a rumor, and then not too long after a document was published that was having some mad figures, made everyone go crazy. Like, you see, I tell you, lie, because how they go come up with that figure there is virtually impossible, right? And I know for say basically as people they hold positions in students' affairs, you definitely were affected. People did meet y'all with complaints and also questions to answers you don't even have sometimes. Chopele, what was your reaction upon seeing the increase?
Okay, just a quick background of the whole chaotic situation that we are in now. It all started right from the extra charges that the universities of Sierra Leone and other public universities, including the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, that they imposed on students that have Sierra Leone granting aid. Of course, it wasn't so before now, and they had to bring that in with the defense that they do not have money anymore to run the universities, and of course, government has not, because we had a meeting with the Vice Chancellor of Institute of Public Administration and Management, IPAM. He categorically said to us that government is owing the University of Sierra Leone, and in fact, they were pushing that government to do away with the SLG, because it was a burden on the universities other than easing the burden of students and subsequently the universities. He called the figure that the government is owing them, which I cannot say now, and of course it was so alarming that myself and the president, Mr. Mohamed Rex Bonafar, we couldn't say anything anymore.
It just
because our hands at some point were tied. What can we say? Because it's something now beyond student unionism.
You are worried about a certain increase to, let's say, 18 million. And
yes.
you hear something about billions.
Billions.
And
like, imagine.
Like,
and when you look at the economic situation of the country, you'll know, it's no secret, that if they are going to pay that, it is no time soon. And so we had to strike a balance with the Vice Chancellor of IPAM, and we said to him, we cannot ask you at this crucial moment to do away with the extra charges. In fact, they were trying to see how best they will get all-arounder, as in even those that had secured the SLG before this time, okay, they were trying to equally impose the extra charges on them. But we had to say to them, okay, this is what will happen. Let those that are coming in now just pay the extra charges, and those that have got the SLG before this time, you'll just waive them off the extra charges. It wasn't an easy decision, because, like I said initially, if you ever have a privileged conversation with any of these top officials in these public universities, you'll know they themselves, they are just trying to see how best, like we can say na Creole, dig hole for Cobahole, because they have to run anyway. They have to operate. And when you look at the universities, they have how many thousand workers, from the top management, the middle staff, and the lower cadre and everything.
That's entirely true.
Yes.
I'll hold you right there, and I'll get back to you on that aspect. You see, for students and most other people, especially parents, right, our concern are mostly with what's like the figure on the fees, ignoring the fact that the university has to run, and in running a university there are expenses. Mm-hmm. Not only basic expenses on fuel, transportation, as we worry about most of the time, furnitures, but also, at the end of the day, when it accumulates, it's a big sum. It's something that not even 500 students would be able to cover.
Not at all.
And we keep forgetting that, just thinking, oh yeah, they just apply for loans and those loans have to be repaid. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Obviously. Mr. Wangura, I'm sorry, Honorable Minister, sir. Okay. So the issue with the charges, especially when it was at 18, because for now, the reaction that students gave when the minimum charge was 18 million was entirely wholesome. And I know as a student yourself, what was your personal reaction before we get to the background? What was your reaction to that?
Okay, so as a student, especially one that is coming from a challenging background, and then getting to hear that for you to get an undergraduate degree, you have to pay 18 million, will give you that feeling that, oh, maybe this is the end of my academic journey. So if I could describe my reaction at that point, that is how it is. And I want to believe my reaction at that point is in synergy with the majority of students in this public university, considering Forabe College, IPAM, and the College of Medicine. These universities are mostly attended by students who are coming from challenging backgrounds. And if you look at our economic situation in the country, you ask a student to go and pay, for instance, to study medicine, 24 million. That student will simply settle to go and do maybe just a basic course in one institute that he or she can afford with 6-7 million. That is how we could have lost a very good doctor, imagine. So for me, at that point, the reaction was maybe the government does not really want solid people anymore, or maybe the government is no longer serious about education in Sierra Leone. Especially when you look at the government, lip-syncing the fact that they are promoting education, they have the free quality education program. Imagine I've gone through primary and secondary school free, and by the time I come to the university, you tell me I have to pay 24 million. I'll just sit at home.
That's like telling me all the money you haven't paid, we're about to take all of it and add some extra.
I'm telling you.
It was preposterous.
So for me, that was the reaction.
For me personally, if something like that happens to me, like I've gone through the secondary school free of charge, then I have my WAS with me. Then when I want to go to university, start saying 18 million, 24 million. I'll just find a low-paying job. Yeah, with my WAS. With my WAS, yeah, and I just do that for the rest of my life instead of reaching my full potential.
So Zod,
it's like
the university issues, they are all interconnected. Sure. When you think about the hike in student fees, you also look at the expenses of the university and subsequently their staffs. That is what had led the lecturers to even propose an insurrection. Okay. Because at the end of the day, they need to get paid. That is the hard fact. Because come to think of it, they themselves, they are humans, they have their families, and they need to take care of them. Imagine they left you very early in the morning. Some lecturers, they come to campus as early as 7, 8 o'clock. Leaving other schedules, leaving other hustles and stuff. And at the end of the month, you don't get nothing for sure.
And where semester done, you get somebody where they attend at the university, we get for pay for.
We get for pay for.
And where that guys they go to happen. So to some extent.
When the issue came up, we had to challenge the ministry. It wasn't easy. Fortunately for us, in that meeting, the Minister of Information and Civic Education was present, Mr. Chernoba. He was present, and in fact, he came at a very crucial moment when we were telling them that as a national student body, because the ministry was asking us to take the message to our fellow students. Imagine me go to my before me company student and tell and say next year you pay 18 million, which is the least amount on the sheet and stuff.
And first is done.
Before they reach to you. So we said to them, if this is your position as a national student body, we cannot do anything. And just know, if the students choose for act otherwise, we cannot control them. Because like Mr. Bangura say, for some of us that are coming from a very challenging background, even for raising 4-5 million, it's a very difficult task. And now you're asking me to pay 18 million. So it means say the need for us for go pong some of the family members the way I get for able for pay me fee. So it was very challenging. Yes, very, very challenging.
There's a big question, Mr. Bangura, with the issue that, considering the fact that you are a representative of just one of the universities in Sierra Leone, the biggest university in Sierra Leone, right? And knowing the extent at which Forabe College students, go towards sending a message, what was the image it painted for you? Passing on that message to students, what image did you have in your mind?
All right, I think when the fees list was published, we have this WhatsApp group we established for almost every student on campus. I think we have over 2,000 students on that group. So when the fees list was published, the president was tagged over 1,000 times just to say, President Alfred, you have to do this. President Alfred, you have to speak
and
for.
In fact,
President
they give you orders.
Yes, so the student don't want to know whether this decision is coming from the government or whether your hands are tied as student leaders. Maybe the students really do not understand the extent to which we can engage. So what the student wanted at that point was, okay, you go and tell them, we are not going to take this. Yes, and at that point, in fact, some students even said they are going to protest. It was, at that point, we started engaging them that, no, we should not go with this line. Allow us as student leaders to engage these authorities and see, and see what will come out of it. But at that point, when the fees list was published, students were really disgruntled to an extent they had wanted to take this, especially for the college students.
Usual culprits. That was exactly to my reaction, because I'm an SLG holder. At the time that we were told that we were supposed to pay, I think it was 1.5 or 2.5.
Yes, all of
the
extra charges.
And it was exactly around exam time. I was worried that I'm not going to sit and all. Where am I going to get the money at that moment to start paying? Because it was, I think, 2 days before the exam started that they published the list. When am I going to pay this money and sit the exam? So it was very worrying, but thankfully they were able to waiver it for us, so we were able to sit our exams at that time. But at the initial time, bro, it was crazy.
It is crazy, to be honest. Finances is something I go personally say na something we Salon not able for actually understand it. Because coming to think of it, even before, let's say in 2014-15, the complaints they already get right now from students them that the university lack this, now the same complaints.
So funnily, the ministry was saying.
Let me get to it real quick. And now with let's say the small money where they say, considering the fact that dollar don't go up and everything so far, like the country in currency itself don't come down, right? Considering the fact that the selling have small money, we're not going to satisfy their need yeah? Now where the money they rise. So Boku, especially like people that were they up there, go consider and say, oh yeah, this will be able to get a lot done. But students they mostly just believe for say, if they're not be able to get basic thing and done, then they are like they add the fees to 50 million, they will still not get anything done. The only thing where they increase no more now the fights for positions where they get the salaries and stuff like that. Now you know more go be like that. Now you go be more evidence.
And I think your statement is in line with the initial position of the ministry. They were saying, Sierra Leone, we pay the least student union fees. And they were comparing the student union fees to universities within the sub-Sahara. And you cannot do that because it will be so disadvantageous on the student. Take for instance, I am a student of one of the constituent universities of the USL, and of course, I have a number of things I pay for, which I have never, and no one day get access to them. I am paying for professional fee. There has never been a day I am studying communication where they take me in a studio, say, okay, this one a recorder, this one a this, out of me 500,000. I am paying for medical fees. I have never, and my body no one day more I'm in a campus. You go to hospital, you say, la go to hospital. I have never. When you go to a library, you're paying for that. And the funny thing is, that equally they muzzle the student union government, we always get the backlash, as in, there is a price tag to student union fees, which is student union representative, they rarely get access to. In fact, what they do is, all of them money then in a one account and they pay them, the USL account. So when they pay their U president, if you know say you man enough, go ask for access to USL account. And you know, when the pressure comes, it's come first to the student union representatives before even they reach to them.
Because
some of them
technically
only
is a
then
mechanism.
Say for instance, the president of IPAM of Wabi College, if they get access to them money then they at least then say for chipping 1 to 10 and see how then they settle some of the problems of the students.
And you forget one charge we mention we already use the ICT fee.
If another was when I give ID card now 1 week they take it on pool. What I know for touch
Exactly.
I collect ID
See
card.
what's up? Say sweats and
Yes,
Bro,
minis
minis plus me ID card here one poil instant. Inside 2 seconds, they don't point.
And you're paying over 100 or so for that.
for ICT.
You're paying for examination. At some point, yes, we write examination. But there are times when you meet up with the vigilators, even for supplementary, they tell you we don't have. Meanwhile, I still get a number of things for it, and I am paying for that. It is a service I am paying for, and I forget them to the fullest. So when you check all of the things, you know, we feel what they pay. In fact, the response of the president of Wabi College, I laughed, but it was very serious during that meeting. He said, categorically directing it to the Minister of Technical and Higher Education. He said to the minister that if you're comparing our fees to the sub-Saharan universities, we are saying, if you look at the facilities there, then Salon will not for pay.
We're not for pay.
We're not for pay. Because come to think of students representatives in Ghana, they get the whole section. It's a full paid job. In fact, then they give you a whole section. When you go to Nigeria, it's the same thing. They value their student leaders them. Here we are in Sierra Leone. For even get secretariat as a student body, it's very challenging, if not impossible. So tell some man has still to the meet up who get engagement, all man parts company. As a national student body, we are still fighting, still pushing for our secretariat.
If we get to the problems, they're never ending.
It's a long list of unending problems.
So that's exactly why the increase in fees poses a lot of questions. Does that mean these problems are going to be settled? Does that mean, okay, now the ICT, the one will be they pay 100. Now if you don't go to 1 million, that means they're going to be giving biometric ID card. We don't see that coming anytime soon.
Yes, so maybe for comment on the ZORD, I think if the university really the bank of, maybe if there's solid argument now that they want to increase the standard and make they raise fees, then I think say they are taking the wrong approach. Just as you mentioned, I mean, professional fees, as Andrew say, I don't pay from year 1. I'm almost graduating, and they don't ever take me to any place for second land professional something. Now the professional fee from 500 is 1.5 now. So imagine students are still not going to benefit from it. Why are they paying more than 500,000? They were paying 500, they did not benefit. Now they are paying 1.5, they are not going to benefit. Why the increase? You consider ICT, as they mentioned, no computers on campus. Even when you go to the IT lab, as they say, you don't have access to computers. You have students who are graduating today, they don't even know how to power on a computer, not to talk of doing simple word on the computer. You have students, when they give them assignment, they have to pay. They have to go to the cafe and pay to do their assignment. So the challenges are there, and I think the university together with the government really not use the right approach for tackle these issues. One, for me, to be candid enough, I think say the government to some extent now really they treat tertiary education seriously.
Yes.
And you're talking about students and they were actually not able turn off or on a computer, and we talk about university students.
Yeah,
I'm telling
you.
It's
a cause for concern.
Up to this semester, lecturer give assignments. It's a more email answer, and people begin to more submit hard copy.
So you see, the people don't know. Some people don't even know how to use simple email, how to communicate using email.
The question should not first be how to use an email. If they do have email addresses, we're functional.
Well, I mean, they force you at the
start, they open email address.
Yes.
But then, seldomly you get for use your email address.
Immediately you get your acceptance.
That's the end.
That's the end of it.
That's the end.
If email be they get dust, like if we don't clock.
I'm telling you.
To be honest.
So Zod, as I be say, maybe the universities and the government need to go back to the drawing board to really get to solve this issue, especially maybe if they look at for improve on standard. I don't think say for raise fees to an extent where students are not able to afford. All right, with all sincerity, the university therefore can find it difficult for collect fees.
That's like one of the biggest problems.
Yes, so
now.
So for instance,
now, with an average of 3 million
the fee was 4 million, the IS being 8 million.
With an average of 4 million leons.
The university, the GOM will say 80% of students are not pay. So now imagine you have to pay 11 million, 15 million. Where are these people going to get the money? So for instance, the minimum wage in Sierra Leone, if my parents they receive 800,000, or let's say 1 million a month, I mean we get for feed, we get for take care of we health, other things.
Transportation for
how can my parents go able to save for go pay 11 million for me? It means the government simply they disadvantage me and they stop me from accessing higher education. And if you say the government, okay, maybe the SLG that was really helping people, maybe the government don't take them off because since people apply last year up to now SLG list not come out, we don't know what they're happy with that. The government is not communicating, and those who have now they are paying. It's not as though SLG is free anymore. It's no longer SLG. They are paying. Some people pay 2 million. Some people pay 1.5. So and they say they have brought this loan scheme. The loan scheme is not applicable to undergraduate students. How do you want people to get tertiary education?
For me, personally, I think the loan scheme, this is something they should have waited first before implementing it. Because we've got little or no impact when you take into consideration the SLG. Now, when you succeed by one, you implement another. And maybe see how you improve that one day. But we haven't succeeded when it comes to the SLG, and we bring students loan scheme. Come to think of it, Amos man they graduate and can't get job. Where the real stuff in the university, you don't get to learn it.
See, in Sierra Leone, we focus more on novelties than sustainability.
On realistic decisions.
And to be honest, this increase in fees, it might sound like something that could help the government. And to them, they might be thinking, "Una just not believing we no more. Anyway, we'll not go talk against self. We just left and so una ways do we do something." But to be honest, if it's going to be applicable and successful, you would know from the onset.
Surely.
Because the mechanisms that will be put in place, they directly point to who side with the head. But for now, we're not heading anywhere. Even if the fees go up to 20 million and every student's pay, mechanisms are not in place for sustainable systems in the university.
Basic amenities first in our universities.
So
there was a day when I wanted to use number one. Just imagine number one. I get for Fembush.
I'm telling you.
A public university that was established long ago. Toilet facility, it's a challenge. Because even the people for clean the toilets money, they forbid it.
And they're always vexed.
And they talk about minimum wage, which is 950,000. It will surprise you for those that there are people in this country where they even receive up to that minimum wage.
Bro, staff lending at FVC where they receive 800,000 a month still. So like then,
so my fact, you boss your salary back.
I'm telling you.
So
this strategy where the ministry then they use, also for throw a job at the governments, but I think where governments and subsequent governments and Asaruna are the same thing they do. They start for build an institution or they start for do a thing, they left hand and come out and go other side, then go do like something totally different.
And to be honest, like, I'm not going to blame them.
Because if you want to focus first on improvements of the university, una for starter, they want to say, okay, now since we don't start this one for completer, we need so amount. Or even if we not start like a big development, but over the years, most una they do something.
See, that's the thing.
We're not going to just come and say una the increase phase with no motivation, like for say, okay, we don't do this so far, we need to do this.
Result, we want to do better.
Yeah. So when the past money there will be the pay. What's not the do it then? If I don't show, say, okay, we don't take down a past money there. We don't buy for this, we don't buy for this. But we need so thing. So more increase the fees, it will get them.
Yes, so maybe for add to within the student they say, the university really not communicate with students. I think, I don't know what is wrong with their communication. Because, for instance, if you are going to increase the fee, you tell the student, say, these are the reasons for which we are increasing the fees. Now, for instance, okay, all they will tell you is, we want for improved standard, we want for improved standard, or we want for pay we lecturers them. But most often we they say lecturer they say now from the consolidated fund that they pay them. So something in the Aki wonder.
Begs the question,
yes, where are they taking the fees? Exactly. Okay, so now the new fees list they out. This is a new academic year. But you go to the universities, you meet, for instance, you just meet 5 people attending to over 6,000 students. Mm-hmm. The university know they employ enough people for even attend to students, and they want students to pay, and they want to increase fees, and they want to do all sorts of things, and they just want students to follow suit.
And the biggest question they would ask you, where do you think we're getting the money to run this place?
In fact, me no one for feel say the universities and maybe the ministry don't know how to communicate. They know they should communicate. The only thing is now that they feel like students therefore always go by what they want. So they see no need to communicate. It just feel like no impose upon them. Would I not fit? Let left. Would I want
well, you know, say in the recent years, now the strategy that they just they can flash with something and anger for a reaction. Successful. It depends to how you react to it, the implement or not.
If nobody reacts on that scene.
Example, these increments per top up, you know, for say at first data then launch a test. People then grumble, then they remove them first for a while, then they work out later.
And then they analyze
the data. Salon communication with the government.
And so to be honest, they analyze the data now and be like, okay, this go lead to chaos, this not go lead to chaos, I load one.
So that's speaking of data, almost departments there, where students and they pay for ICT and stuff, they give students access to internet. To Wi-Fi, general, where at least 5 people.
No, to be honest, I remember Assassin's Creed in 2019, where internet be in amphitheater and some other places around the university.
In fact, me department said we get internet where
that was really helping
that was so good that they even tell on the students. And to be honest, then few months and things be they change now for a big college. You sense some amount of growth in students then.
Surely.
Motivation.
Quick, you see somebody just grab them and Google so see you they lie, not so
and it actually increase attendance.
Exactly.
Because man maybe they can't come on a campus or can use internet. So, and they be like, I get this class, you go.
So you see, but now the issue with Sierra Leone, the issue with we whole system now that they live in the 20, I don't know whatsoever
19.
Right? Not generally. And when they travel, they go to conferences to like sign treaties and stuff. Then they go see certain things there, and when they get carried away.
The man and I would trust the very system when then they run. How much fun and get the students and they attend public universities?
Very few.
Very few. In fact, if then they now picking away and go to upline. Not to them biological. I can challenge that.
Them biological picking. Most of them in a private university. If they are salary, they attend. Then are them private university.
Then a private way, they know say what they pay for. Then they get
some. So the whole issue now the fact that we basically not the cuts we quote according to we size. In a sense, then we basically put in paper for say okay ICT now something where we provide the students them so they put this fee as against them. No, not think that's big. We don't reach dates. Let's be honest with ourselves.
I'm a student in a laptop,
personal laptop. No, I'm a student and first they will
afford the laptop.
They will afford the laptop. So you see, they set unrealistic goals and because this fee also, to be honest, it's unrealistic.
Surely.
You are winning 4 million loans. They don't want to be a with me now one of them. They don't want to be a with they watch on pass one.
I want graduation and people
pay. So now you go tell students about 11 million, 10 million.
The funny thing is, during the conference where they get na Kenema,
that's why they go jail for college fee.
They were so comfortable with projecting their proposed fees. When SSF, women they part of that conference, they know within themselves. Say no students no day where they afford than they during the entire. Among students, they get enough transport for get to lunch, for go take lectures. Whereas at now, the very decision for come out inside your come out in a street. You don't pay 50,000 transport. You know enter.
Just
you know,
the decision.
just the decision where you take. Just that very decision say, are they client town for Kaya? If I begin the Contamos, I don't pay for Kaya. From Keke, imagine a Keke, not a bike. I only get for take bike at some point for how he can. Then you think for students, we will get lectures as early as 9. How much you get for pay? There are students where they live at the outskirts of Freetown. They don't think about them. All the buses way, for instance, for Abbey College get right now. The university, know they say, we put 1,000 per them buses here. These are buses where goodwill people, MNC, don't know say, una can't take. People like Leon Rock say, we are donating this to student welfare. And in fact, the one that we did in Prezobona and Adamasila and them, we see them get spoiled. Then pack the random bits and Sunday bits, they'll be there till they spoil, they can chop them.
No, they don't spoil until they're rusty, they're not able to map
again.
And then you just can't find which chop them.
And in fact, a man pockets back, he go get for go.
They're going to say this is done there, so how long now would they watch and
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So we can't really watch and
it's so pathetic. It's so pathetic.
So Zod, maybe take from within Andrew said earlier on, that these people, even this system within the setup, they don't trust the system.
They do not.
So me, my line of thoughts now that the government, with all openness, maybe not too really serious in action about education anymore. Because come to think of it, Zod, I mean, you say, okay, secondary education, what will be they pay for 150 leon, 200 leons, 300 leons? You waive them off. You say, okay, let's go to school free of charge. Let's I mean, then.
So, no, you would take all the money with the college.
Yes. We replay of all these benefits. It was a big time setup.
So after that, you expose these people to exorbitant, fees where they really cannot afford. Then even the system itself, you don't bring your own people, you that are setting up the system, you send your kids out of the country for go get education. I mean, you where they up there right now, maybe for afford 11, 12, 14 million, a simple thing for you. Maybe now you party himself, or maybe now you. I mean, but consider the majority of people will vote for you. Consider the aspiration for sending picking and go school, for let them change the situation them. Consider people will dance for you and bring you to power.
The
how
government,
they really
out
suffer.
of touch with the people there.
So how those people they suffer? For instance, you get people away now rock than the mind. You get people the way they push with barrow. You get people where they suffer na dove courts. Just for ensuring them picking them go school. Now imagine when them people and they go able to raise 14 million. Imagine if you pick one carry loan now.
Reach 5 million, where you reach 14 million.
I'm telling you.
So well, Luma open at 200,000 for go buy market.
So Zod, it means say this level now we would reach. It's like the people that we poor, they can become more poor. They can become poorer, and then people that we can afford, then really go up.
Yeah,
just
because
like
now it's like a natural selection.
Yes.
Technically.
So in those days,
you afford now they come first. They graduate to beaucoup.
Yes.
But now they will take after all this. Now few get for able graduation.
Surely.
Because now they are the only side where they get for hold we for the fees. So we're not going to give you the grief,
Ironically, they come up with a national student conference, and we went to European Union. We had a meeting with them. Okay. And then during that meeting, we were telling them, this is how we want the conference to go, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, aren't you guys providing laptops for the attendees?
Laptop for ourselves.
Amos for me and my executive get laptop. Because that is the thing. When you attend conferences outside Sierra Leone, the very day una start the conference, they give you personal laptops with bag, with packages. Myself and the president, we attended one. The very day, we say they pick you up from your airport, then can you go? In fact, from the reception where they give you, they don't say no to businesses as usual. I am really out of Sierra Leone. You don't say, bang, I don't come out now. They give you brand new laptop. But not to say, okay, 2 per 1, una go share them, they waste on 10 salogo, man, this one, where they give man, and they go even hold them up. Even if it day, they still not go give you access to them.
Salon.
So it's very unfriendly.
Imagine this now, the first 2 hours of you presence over there, yeah? Before you go to the conference, the whole kits where they give give you a branded power bank, give you every single thing so far.
Everything na branded, like
right?
you say. Everything.
Exactly. Give you everything what you need. And now, after 2-3 days, una sit down for talk. Guess what's in the happen? If you get for put any form of fee, that standard they get for move with. So now we people them, we leaders them can go over there, spend small time, enjoy small, and call crazy figure.
Get carried away.
Exactly.
They
so
get carried away.
And to be honest, all in at this conference, I'm from Sierra Leone, you are from Ghana, he's from Nigeria, and you're from South Africa. Una agree on certain amounts. And me said because I want to follow, so I be like, oh yeah, me said you don't say what I think you say. Then the students say,
Then now they talk now what for say, then they out of touch with citizens in there. Because now we get like minister there. I believe for say most of the minister they don't spend like time overseas, like they don't work there, they don't do this and that. Some of them attend universities overseas. Why after you don't go get all that experience, you not try for implement something in your country? Instead of for line pockets. Because in so I feel like if they increase fees, they for line pockets.
We went there with a very top government official. We onboarded the same flight. We almost lodged in at the same hotel, and they picked us up every day together. And see every facility where students and they get in at that place. In fact, jokingly, we were saying to him, who still they get to their facilities here? Because at that university, the moment you become a student union president, you sit down for 1 year, you know they attend. The reason being, it's a full paid job, full time. Give you office, give you site for stay, and they pay you, then they pay money where even if you know how to continue again, you're fine. You're fine.
Because now they require commitment.
They require commitment.
There's something about life, right? Whenever somebody don't give you a certain consideration, now you hurt. And it's a way in business come up, you had the cuts. Yeah, I know it's supposed to money.
In this country,
you get to value the work.
We are good with writing. Because even in the USL policy and stuff, there is a clause there where they tell you, say, students for being represented in the Senate. Almost as a national student body, we don't push for that one day. So say now.
No, the theories are good.
So when they take decisions, now within themselves, students will go there the way they seek the interest of students. Say no, my colleague they're not able to pay this because that is the real the hard truth. You cannot ask me to pay 10-11 million when the parents the way perhaps they take care of me. Then business not even they up to 5 million as I be say. Amos man really then a dove cut when I hustling mother when business go they up to 10-15 million.
Like then there is the question like they need to take students serious. Because by rights, I believe was if they try for make a decision like this and suppose for call news and separate.
They say them prioritize education.
Therefore, don't call the students' union governments then together and say, okay, so this is our proposed plan before they begin pull list there. If I don't call all man force and say this is our proposed plan, what's one think? Because now I know our students because since we saw them now ivory tower there.
Is it?
That's how they say.
They impose and then based on our reaction, then because una mind now, how me go with some this kind of message home?
How? In fact, we had to say to them, we need for meet where we reach.
See, the people where they suffer the most in this system, now two people. One, now the lecturers. Because to be honest, them people are people where they exhibit devotion. Mm-hmm. No matter how this department, then this, then like a but lecturers then can turn up. Get for be honest. They turn up. They ask go one per week. They feel we bad. Yes, because they pay them, but they turn up.
They are aggrieved now.
Exactly.
Can you imagine you go take lecturer where they grade hundreds of papers there, if not 1,000, for every academic year? Each semester. They get test. You need for keep up attendance and all. They begin paying 2,800,000 a month.
I have a colleague at Slim Cockwin. Me and they get a privileged conversation the other day.
It's a nightmare.
Exactly.
This is a student where, because for Lim Cockwin, they have ambassadors. Now, that's the way then they call the student reps. And it's a job. You're part of the administration. When they get meeting, they call you. Then they tell them, say, Unalo can sit don't talk. My round table. For Abbey College, pass issue. I remember when they want for take exam, when they write, because when they write the administration made the dragging foot. They had not wanted to take any decision. Imagine they inform students few days to exam. where some students and then they hustle for themselves. Mentally, they are not prepared. And when the students put forward their complaints and their propositions, and they were laughing at the student. Why you need for prepare mentally? You know, it's how they go through every day when I go out for go hustle or any day tell me say what for. So when we go that meeting, the head of the vice chancellor was like, we don't need news now, na come out na do X, Y, and Z and stuff. Imagine. And when they launched the student loan scheme, he was like, news the pick on now. Say we presidents come off for a big college and come on, we are not speaking on anybody. Because at the end of the day, when the students come, they don't care about the friend relationship or might go. It's in their wants an automatic decision.
And to be honest, enough fear.
Not at all.
Enough fear, because one, students can be very, very much unreasonable. Especially when things they go south. And also, what if you say they pull up? I assume they go beat.
Telling you.
and now there you go, you say, hey, they don't do the most. What if you say they pay for that?
Whenever they strike on campus, the very first people where they run away.
They look for person.
Now students represent.
No, they look.
You know they prepare for their campus. Now you know one see. Because at the end of the day, now you know the 8 pound this stuff.
Exactly.
Vice Chancellor they pass
Vice Chancellor they pass it bang bang on.
You know why? You know why? Because at the feedback like we students union, they need for disseminate the information maybe about the reality of it. May students then try for no. But students then believe for say that student union money way they pay on actual the user. Me if not supposed to within a student union government tell me say that money they na abadan in it social.
No make clear the access.
I don't ever know. Exactly the constitution enable access and so like we need for they need for show we be main the reality.
We continue and we want for Umar, we want for look at the resolutions and waiting students them can able for do because this it's already been done. We just get to move forward now. DJ Nice.
Sorry.
Show me something, make a touch, you make a color. This your body, they give me ginger, I don't know. Girl, I love you, I wish I'm a 32. Show me something, make a touch, you make a color.
It's not a flop, it's like a Faraday. Why for so when you know the umbrella day? And I go use cotton mud when it for Faraday. When I must be on me talk Canada. It's not go ever fall apart like a chino chebe. I can call it anytime you bounce die ya shake. Another protocol, anyhow, give me a gege. Gravina go sweet if you greedy and pepe. Abanga make right, my speeds pass malako. I go feel like engine, they pass malado. Big pat no go crazy speeds, yeah, panado. Show me something, the pattern, they pass panado.
Show me something, make a touch, you make a color. This your body, they give me ginger, I don't know.
Girl, I love you, I wish I'm a 32. Show me something, make I touch you, make I go low.
Show me something, make a touch you, make a color. This your body, they give me ginger, I don't know.
Girl, I love you, I wish I'm a 32. Show me something, make I touch you, make I go low. Show me something, baby Nick, show me something. I don't wish to be a burden, but you know you owe me something. And I be auxiliary, mean an instant gear. Who that turn a mole party, no go distance beer. If you ask for money, then I send a man of food. That one the big boys call them instant care. Vegeta, now you season this with my sauce. 43 big size, you dey fit my socks. Gumbena for kakabu. What's enough for me no more? You are not shocked about.
Show me something, make a touch, you make a color. This your body, they give me ginger, I don't know.
Girl, I love you, I wish I'm a 32. Show me something, make I touch you, make I go low.
Show me something, make a touch you, make a color. This your body, they give me ginger, I don't know.
Girl, I love you, I wish I'm a 32. Show me something, make I touch you.
We're still here at Epic Radio talking about the students' issues, as in the fee, the increase in fee, and as well as the proposed strike by the lecturers. So it's quite obvious that the Ministry of Education, especially tertiary education, don't make them like a mandate for this particular academic year, students and pay the proposed individual fees the way they now the recent notice with the release. So as students them all over the country, and as they are so with students leaders them, and as well as my fellow students, we want to look at what we can able to do as students them for reduce this issue. What's in some of the ideas the way we go able to come up with as students or as a students now. You they pay $1,000 or close to $1,000 now, right? What do you feel to say that the way you able to continue sustain this process?
Well, I don't go able to talk for everybody because me they still pay for me fees.
Yes.
Yeah, but fan side also, bro, because this time the reality of the country we're in, and just the kind of posting and power suddenly and pass will rock with the boats. We're not get for able to say it's our work who gets what we want, because at the end of the day, government's kind of like dictatorial, like they tell you, say, we didn't say this, now this, nobody not get for step out of line. So if I'm for me learn a necessary skill we go use for work and get like extra income.
Okay, so your strategy and adaptation. Adapt. We accept and adapt. Because now if you parents they don't muscle up, they don't pay the fee where they around $1,000 or probably a little less. What you get for happen that you don't get for cost, transport get for cost, and some other stuff that we enjoy now get for.
So if you adapt and get like a side hustle or something, you're able like do for yourself your lunch and do for yourself your transport.
Okay. That's a brilliant one. I've been fit to say you could tell me for say but look come on at the low story.
Bro.
Because that's also
also
a strategy.
Life sweet.
Like very sweet. Especially right now, they need to take it easy on me.
But then I will get empty space.
See, they make schooling free because it will be very, very tough for the pupils then come on and do and strike and then take them go lock there. But university we then give you and say for you get for pay for your class 6.
They're able to tell me as terrorists there because we're adults there and they're able to try.
There are like so many charges.
If they catch picking the Tawana streets, now just a slap on the wrist. But as the adults now that team.
Definitely. Mr. Bangura, what's in you fit to say? What's in you message to students them out there, and what's in the strategy we want for make we adapt? Because you self now students, although most people in our university they see you that way, they see like a special student.
Yes, and I think the message is not just for students. It's not just enough for students to accept, but I think the government and the universities should go back to the drawing board. They need to revisit this decision. If the government is really serious about prioritizing education, then I think it's high time the government started, manifesting that in its actions. For instance, when they normally do, budget allocation, they allocate to the education sector. Where is that money going? For instance, if you're really serious about education, haven't given your citizens free, primary and secondary education, you create an avenue wherein they have a smooth access to tertiary education. That is really, mark you, that is really the point where you say we have done human capital investment. Imagine you go to school, you take the WAS, and you cannot go to any tertiary institution. Where is the human capital development? All you can settle for is to be a security or some menial job you do around, because now these days you hardly get a job with your WAS result. So my message to the government is let them revisit this. They need to bring back the SLG. I think the decision to take away the SLG is not in place. They need to bring back the SLG in full-fledged. That is to say, students should not be paying extra charges. And the budget allocation given to the education sector should be able to cater for the SLG the government is giving to students. And the government should be serious enough to pay the universities the debts they are holding the constituent colleges. Because if you don't pay the universities, that is why the universities are also pressing students. That is why they are pushing for an increment in the fees. But if the government is serious enough, well, you say, okay, let us settle this debt. the budget allocation to education, let us ensure we live by it. I mean, the burden will be eased off the universities, so the small money we students and they pay will really be enough for run the day-to-day activities. So students, I think we should motivate our parents, especially those of us whose parents are challenged, or those of us who are paying our own fees, like for me, I mean, they pay for myself.
It is fresh.
well, for me, I am into entrepreneurship ventures, so I have one or two things I do that give me money, and that's the message I want to send to students. This Sierra Leone now, you really cannot succeed, even where the fee is 1,000 leone. You really cannot succeed if you don't have a side hustle. I want to encourage students to really give into entrepreneurship, learn skills, soft skills, that will give you income, at least to reduce the burden on your parents, and where you are paying for yourself to be able to afford it. And I want to say to the university authorities, let them please be really soft with students. You know they expect really students for raise 11 million, I'll go pay just this first semester, please. And I want to let them continue with the system where they know they ask students they're out of exams all because they not pay fees, because eventually they get for pay before they graduate. Mm-hmm. So this is my message to the universities, the student, and the government. Government, please take education seriously, especially tertiary education. Now the only time now we go really confirm say you serious about education, not a way you give it free primary, free secondary, and we know we can college. I mean, it's a waste of time and resources. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a very salient point, especially the one where you make about the institutions themselves, because no can begin fake and so for say, okay, no worry, I got you. Make we so comfortable, say we reach SS2 all with the cack foot's not table, so they can go college. Oh, college and go ambush, we say, bruh, that table we been cack foot's pan. They can begin pay for our first before we move forward. Mm-hmm. So yes, thank you very much, Mr. Bangura. And you, Chop?
Yeah, I think Mr. Bangura has said it all. Maybe I'll just add some few words to what he has said already. We artists as at now, in one of his songs, Drizzly Kamin, say Mr. Degrees, he don't say employment, say meet you. If it's say na so no more. If you able to turn you 2 to 3, not do one. Don't say na 4 no more. So it's very serious. Let we know look low, because a normal for salon, for lady for a big college, and you offer me job at the where? Man, this work, not so for me, go for another person. Even when it can settle some of the bills. So as a student, yes, you are a student and you're vying for a degree, or you're working towards earning a degree, a university degree. But hey, you side hustling. Not joke with a bra. If you get to that 1-2 side where you're able to go, elect na teach, get a picking in an area. You teach there. The fact that first you day university, people they trust you for left them picking you for like you teach there. At the end of the month, whatever you're able to accumulate, if not for pay fee safe, you're able to use that like when I say they cut down safe on your transport or other facilities and stuff, you're able to use that and settle some of your little problems. So let me not just sit down and say, we get gigantic, like where, is it ambush? That poem we read some years ago, where they say about hope of gigantic success and blah, blah, blah. As they grow, they don't say, me man, these were just mere fantasy, no more, not so true. So let me face the hard realities of life. That at this point in time, it is yourself that have to hustle for yourself, for make yourself comfortable. Your parents and they give, but they cannot give you everything. So let me take up entrepreneurship and skills and see how best. Yes, I know about Mr. Bangura, some of the things the way they do, and they are laudable. Because at the end of the day, able for settle some of the things the way personally a need for settle as a student. And again to the government, let me take realistic decisions. When you take decision, analyze the economic situation first of the country. Don't they have economic analysts then? Don't they have them? We go sit down and look at situation and say, no, but this one, we cannot be a burden again to the people when already they have this as a burden to handle or to face. Let me see how we go, because when you are there to see how best you'll think and lessen the burden on the people them, not to be a burden again to them. And I think with the fee increment, government. That is what the government is trying to do. Being a burden instead of easing the burden on Sahel unions. Human capital development is a priority for this government, and they should see how best they will just take off some of the burdens on the shoulders of Sahel unions. Because if I go school and I get nothing for sure at the end of the day, now just some stuff at the back, me man, it's not helping. It's not helping. The economic situation is degrading, it's frustrating, and man, not even one thing around them. Let me not get something again, we go make money take to mind. Man, begin to let the thing say, then
there's no hope.
Then go AWire. You understand? There are times, let me see how they move for settle some of the problems. Before they get to some points, a quick your man say you push post in a wall saute. If you don't get nothing for doing again, set the fight back. Because it's safe for leave anyway. So let me not push the people to the wall at some point. They feel like we only resort right now for react. And if they react, it not go fine. So let's see what will happen moving forward for settle this sensitive and important issue so that we all go glad as one family as Sahel unions.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. My message basically as to students them. And I go take and say now we cause all this. Why now we cause all this? So you go to universities now, so iPhone 12, 13, 14. It's all of ministers and stakeholders. Yeah, it's all of front. Yeah? Now so we day. Now not look to that. Do we the big. Okay? And basically so the governments do ya not forget also you come on. Now so in the same place. Now so they nothing not change. Now you grow. Not so the country go. So till next Saturday, have a wonderful evening and take care.
In case you never know, it's the